Hey everyone, my name is Jeremy. I'm an emergency medicine PA. Today I'm going to be showing you some different suturing techniques. The first of which is simple interrupted. This is the most common technique used for closure. It's one I use almost every single day. And let's get started. We're going to need some tools for the job. Scissors, Adson's forceps, a needle driver, suture material, and of course a laceration. Sometimes the suture material is all coiled up and it gets in the way of things, so if you run your fingers through it, it straightens it out and makes it easier. We're going to take our needle driver and grab the needle at approximately 1/3 away from the eye of the needle, or the other way of saying it is 2/3 away from the needle tip, and we're going to do that right here. And this is the point we're looking for. And you don't want to be angled with your needle. You want to be perpendicular with your needle driver, as seen from this aerial view above. And as far as grip goes, if both of your fingers are in the needle driver, it limits the range of motion of your wrist. And if you come out, you get a much more full range of motion. See how much more I can move my wrist while doing it this way. And you want to enter the skin at a 90-degree angle. You're not going to enter the skin like this. You're going to evert the skin edges to create that 90-degree angle. And as far as suture strategy, here is a wound here, and in the rule of halves, you start in the middle, and then after you suture the middle, then you go to the next half, and then suture the next half until the wound is closed. So now when thinking about the suture position, you want to make your first bite approximately 3 to 5 millimeters from the wound, depending on the particular laceration. And that initial width to the wound edge is going to just double as far as where you put your next suture. And you just repeat this process the same way, so you have a evenly closed laceration by the time you're done. Notice all the knots are on the same side. So let's get started here. We're going to make our first throw, everting the edges. This suture pad is pretty thick, so you may see me tug hard on the needle. The usual skin is not like this. Then you want to come out on the other side, roughly the same distance where you inserted on the other side. Then you want to pull your suture material and leave about a 1/2-inch tail at the end. So now you want to make a surgeon's knot, and you loop twice around the needle driver, and whatever direction you loop around the needle driver needs to be pulled in the opposite direction. And that's how you make a squared knot. And here I am looping the suture towards me and then pulling the needle driver away. And doing this technique will make your knot square. Now you want to cut off your suture ends, not too close, otherwise it will become untied, roughly 5 to 10 millimeters. Going to make a second suture here, and this time I'm just going in one end and out the other. Some wounds you can do this. I wouldn't recommend this for every wound. And notice I start my tie with a surgeon's knot, which is 2 loops, and every subsequent loop after that is just 1. Just remember to loop the suture around the needle driver in one direction, and then you pull with the needle driver in the opposite direction, as demonstrated here again. And we're not going to do the rule of halves, as this is just a demonstration video. We're only going to do a few sutures. And I usually do 3 to 4 throws per suture. You're seeing me do 4 in this video. Okay, so now we have 4 sutures in place, and now I'm going to teach you guys how to take them out. So coming back to this wound illustration, you want to remove every other suture and test the wound tension to see if the sutures are ready to come out. And you want to think about how long the suture has been exposed to the elements and potential bacteria on the wound. So when you take these sutures out, you never want to drag the exposed suture through the wound and contaminate the fresh healed wound. So I cut close to the base, and then I pull the suture across the wound. And we're just going to do a few more here in a every other fashion, making a cut close to the base and then pulling across the wound. If you pull away, you're going to cause some tension to the wound and it might open back up. And we're just going to remove one more. And as with anything else, the more you practice, the better you'll get at doing sutures. And this was a simple interrupted suture. Hope you guys found this video helpful. Stay tuned for more videos as we cover different suturing techniques and procedures. Thanks for watching.